Have you opened your electricity bill recently and felt a bit of a jolt? You are definitely not alone. But what if I told you that shockwave is coming from thousands of miles away? And believe it or not, it's revealing a massive rift right here in the Singapore investment market, a divide that's separating the winners from the losers of tomorrow. Let's dig in. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with that bill sitting on your kitchen table, and we're going to connect it all the way up to Singapore's national strategy. Along the way, we'll uncover how this global crisis is creating a great divide, showing us exactly which investments are built for the future and which ones might just be stuck in the past. All right, first things first, let's talk about that very real, very tangible increase in your cost of living. It's not just a feeling, it's not just in your head, the numbers absolutely back it up. Get this. For the second quarter of 2026, household electricity tariffs jumped by 2.1%. Now, for an average family in a 4-room HDB flat, that works out to about an extra $1.96 on your monthly bill. It might not sound like a lot, but trust me, it is the tip of a very, very large iceberg. So how on earth did a conflict happening thousands of miles away reach out and raise your electricity bill? Well, the connection is surprisingly direct. It's a simple 3-step process. First, you have geopolitical instability that messes with the global fuel supply. Second, because of that, the price of natural gas skyrockets. This is absolutely crucial for Singapore, because a staggering 95% of our electricity comes from that imported natural gas. And finally, step 3, those higher costs get passed directly on to you. It's a straight line from global headlines right to your household budget. And don't think this is just a temporary blip. The Energy Market Authority has already warned us that the full impact hasn't even hit yet. They're forecasting, and I quote, sharper increases later in the year. This economic pressure right here is the backdrop for everything else we're about to get into. Okay, now let's build on that. The exact same forces that are driving up your bills are also sending these massive shockwaves through the investment world, especially for a big favorite among Singaporean investors, REITs. I mean, this chart tells the whole story. In March 2026, the broader Straits Times Index pulled back about 2%. But look at the S-REIT index. It fell a whopping 7%. That's more than 3 times harder. So why the huge difference? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental rule of investing in a high inflation world. So here's the crucial part. When inflation fears start to rise, what do central banks do? They often raise interest rates. And that makes super safe government bonds look a lot more attractive. So for REITs to even stay competitive, they need to offer a higher yield. And well, the only way for their yield to go up is for their price to go down. It's a simple but really brutal equation that has put the entire sector under some serious pressure. But here is where the story gets really fascinating. That 7% drop, that's not the whole picture. Not even close. Because if you look inside the S-REIT market, you'll find that not all properties are created equal. A great divide is opening up. I mean, just take a look at this. While some sectors are really struggling, you see industrial and China-focused REITs with their distributions falling, the data center sector is just in a league of its own. Digital Core REIT saw its revenue surge 72%, and Keppel DC REIT, a massive 42.2% jump. This isn't just surviving the storm, folks. This is thriving in it. Let's just pause on that number for a second. 42.2%. That's top-line revenue growth in a single year, a year when the rest of the market is contracting. And this is being driven by relentless demand and really smart acquisitions. It's a crystal-clear sign of a separation from the rest of the pack. And if you want proof of that demand, look at this. Rental reversions, which is basically just the change in rent for new leases, for Keppel DC REIT were around 45% higher. I mean, this kind of pricing power is almost unheard of. It tells you there's a deep structural demand for what they offer. But what is so special about data centers? The answer isn't just found in market economics. It's actually woven into the very fabric of Singapore's long-term vision. We really need to connect the dots to the national strategy here. And it all comes back to this: Singapore's Smart Nation Initiative. It's this massive, nationwide plan to integrate technology into pretty much every aspect of government, the economy, and society. But here's the thing. A digital nation needs a physical home for all of its data. You see, you can't have a smart city without the actual buildings that power it. We talk about the cloud like it's this magical thing in the sky, but it has a physical home. And that home is in these highly secure, power-intensive buildings called data centers. They are, without a doubt, the essential infrastructure of the 21st century. And hey, don't just take my word for it. When other cities around the world study what makes a smart city successful, they point directly to Singapore's strategy. They recognize that data infrastructure isn't just part of the plan, it's the backbone of everything that's coming. So, let's pull all of these threads together. What does this period of global crisis and market volatility actually reveal to us about investing for the future? Okay, here are the crucial takeaways. First, global events have a direct impact on your wallet. Second, rising interest rates will always put pressure on traditional income assets. But third, and this is the most important one, this pressure creates a great divide. It reveals that true resilience is found by aligning your investments with powerful structural megatrends like digitalization. Today's tough market, you can think of it as a stress test, and it's showing us with crystal clarity which assets are truly future-ready. Which leaves us with one final question to think about. As we look towards an increasingly uncertain future, maybe the safest place to be isn't invested in the economy of today, but in the essential, non-negotiable infrastructure of the economy of tomorrow. What do you think?